Day to serve an excellent God with the spirit of excellence. Good evening. I am Dr. Sherry L. Jackson, the curator and founder of Unmuted Voices Academy. And tonight begins our Holy Week conversations as we take a look at the Jesus's final week as he goes to the cross to be lynched. Let's be clear. Jesus was lynched on the tree. And so tonight, as we begin, no doubt if you have been in any type of church space and non-church space, you know today is known as Palm Sunday. This is a day that we have in era called it a parade. And tonight, I am joined by my friend, Dr. Garland Thompson of Houston, Texas, as we seek to say that it was not a parade, Dr. Garland, but it was a protest. It was, I like to call Palm Sunday a showdown in the middle of the streets. You know, like meet me in the middle, meet me in the middle of the street. That's what
Certainly.
Palm Sunday is about. Welcome, Dr. Garland. So glad to be
Hey,
with you tonight.
yes,
It's been
ma'am.
a
Grace
while,
and
but
peace.
we're back.
We are back in stride again, like Frankie Beverly and May says. And yes, this is indeed a critical moment in church history as Palm Sunday commemorates, the road to resurrection. And I'm just grateful that we'll spend some time tonight kind of engaging the text on what Palm Sunday truly embodies, what it represents, and kind of the urgency of why Jesus came into
Mhm.
Jerusalem, knowing explicitly he was
Yeah.
coming to die.
Yeah. And so we want to take a look at that. So before we really get into this conversation, we want to invite those who are here already to like, share, and tag, and bring somebody into your circle, your clique, or your crew. And we all got one. Jesus had a circle, a clique, and a crew, right?
Mm.
We like to call it the inner circle. You call it inner circle if you want, but it was a clique. Jesus, Jesus had a clique. And ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that because we all need that circle who we can let our hair down. And
Certainly.
for Jesus, that was Peter, James, and John. Whenever Jesus wanted to do something important or he wanted to engage some real conversation, he pulled his inner circle. There were 12 disciples,
Hmm.
but he had an inner circle. He had an inner circle.
Definitely.
So, again, excuse me, welcome again to the beginning of this Holy Week experience. But before we get to tonight, Palm Sunday, Dr. Garland, I want to set the stage. I want us to go back to Advent, right?
Okay.
Because I believe that contextually you can't do one without the other, right?
Agreed.
So back in December when we were talking about the world in which Jesus was born into, we said that Jesus was born into a world that was pretty much like ours. That
Yeah.
first century Palestine and 21st century world, right,
Hmm.
got a whole lot in common, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Certainly.
Jesus is born into a world that um, was controlled by the Roman Empire. There
Hmm.
was heavy taxation. There was marginalization of people. There was exploitation of people. And Jesus comes in to say, listen, I I've come, I have come, Luke 4:18, 19. I've come to I come to task this stuff up.
That's right.
I come to turn the world upside down or right side up. And the song that Mary sings
Hmm.
in Matthew she says what the baby is going to do. Even before
Right.
the baby is on the scene, Mary prophesies through this
Mm-hmm.
revolutionary song that her baby will bring down the powerful,
That's right.
right? And so Jesus did that work. He did that work. He went through teaching and said, in my kingdom, in my reign, right? The first shall be last and the last shall be first.
That's right.
In my way of living, if you're going to live, now you're talking about heaven, right here on earth,
That's
that
right.
he gave parables about, the good Samaritan parable, and made the Samaritan the hero of the story,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Certainly.
And
Certainly.
so it is this work that upset Rome. First of all, they come in talking about, who is this? Talking about the king of the Jews.
That's right. That's right.
And so he has come to disrupt some stuff, and he disrupted some stuff. And now the religious leaders have gotten together with the political leaders, and they are getting him out the way.
That's right.
They're getting him out the way. So that's the state. So you cannot, and I wrote a post earlier, and you can add, take away, or say, Sherry, don't say that anymore. For those who say that politics does not belong in the church, hear me.
Hmm.
For those who say, oh, I just want to come to church and hear the word, I leave all that politics out the door, I don't want you to open your mouth this week.
Please.
Don't shout on Sunday. Don't
Please.
attend no good Friday, seven last sayings,
No
because this
Monday
whole,
services, nothing.
none, because this whole week is about
The government literally killing, publicly executing a man.
publicly executing the
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you cannot be a Jesus follower
Hmm.
and not engage in politics. Rome today, you can't do it. Now, am I on to something, Dr. Garland? Or say shit. Now, we got it like this. Just
100%.
tell me. Just tell me.
100%. Because inevitably you have to know who crucified Jesus.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it wasn't the scribes that killed them. It wasn't the people who didn't make it to the fish dinner who killed them. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't people such as, it was the government who
Yeah,
conjured
yeah,
up together after Judas betrayed him and said, hey, I'm going to sell him out for 30 pieces of silver.
yeah,
And he
yeah.
went to the government. The government said, yeah, we cannot take this dark skinned Palestinian Jew who is causing complete disruption in our normal society. We can't have him talking about the last shall be first and the first shall be last. We can't
Mm-mm.
have him talking about he the king of the Jews. We can't have him healing people on the Sabbath. We cannot have him disrupting our normalcy and our dominance over the people,
That's right.
because this Jesus is emancipating people. He's
Yeah,
liberating people, and we cannot stand it. He is going to completely disrupt our sense of normalcy.
yeah.
So therefore, we have to kill him. No, make no bones about it. This is not
You
us
gotta get him out
putting him
the way.
away. We're not going to imprison him. We're going to publicly lynch him.
Yeah. He's got to go, because
He's
he
got to go.
cannot come up in here moving our cheese. He
Exactly.
cannot come in here moving our cheese. So again, if that's your stance, I don't even just act as if this week does not exist.
Exactly.
Act as if this. So Dr. Garland, let's say we get too far and they say, well, we didn't read the text. This particular story is in several of the gospels, but I'm just going to read it from the NRSV, right? I'm
Okay.
a NRSV. Welcome again to everybody who is here already. That I see you. Listen, I need you to like, share, and tag, like, share, and tag. And by the time Dr. Garland and I finish, I want you never to hear that when you leave this space, I don't want you to think that this was a parade, right? Now, and we'll get to that, but I want to read the text, and I'm going to read it from Matthew 21, 1 through 11. Is that okay, Dr. Garland?
Please do.
Okay, and I'm reading from the NRSV. It says, when they had come near Jerusalem and had reached Bethphage, at the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent two disciples, saying to them, go into the village ahead of you, and immediately you will find a donkey tied and a colt with her. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, just say this: the Lord needs them, and he will send them immediately. This took place to fulfill what had been spoken through the prophet, saying, tell the daughter of Zion, look, your king is coming to you, humble and mounted on a donkey, and on a colt, the foal of a donkey. The disciples went and did as Jesus had directed them. They brought the donkey and the colt and put their cloaks on them, and he sat on them. A very large crowd spread their cloaks on the road, and others cut branches and spread them on the road. The crowds that went ahead of him and that followed were shouting, Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. When he entered Jerusalem, the whole city was in turmoil, asking, who is this? The crowds were saying, this is the prophet Jesus from Nazareth in Galilee. The word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
Thanks be to God.
Praise
So I want us to be contextual. Let's just set this scene, what's going on, right?
That's right.
So during the week before Passover, right, there are up to about 250,000 people in the city. They are from all people from the Roman Empire are going to meet up in Jerusalem for the Passover. So
That's
what's
right.
the Passover? You got to go back to Exodus, right? It is a memorial where the law says that every year they were to remember how the death angel passed them by, right? Passed over them, right? So every year they were to remember this. So they are in Jerusalem. It is also, and I want you to hear this, and I need y'all to use some critical thinking skills to say, now, where have I heard this language lately? Right? Where have I heard this kind of language? It was customary for Pilate, the Roman governor, who lived about 60 miles west of Jerusalem, to march into the city to display their military strength. He came to remind those who were coming in Jerusalem that he was in charge.
That's right.
In other words, you can have your little Passover and all of that, but I'm going to sit my war horses, my chariots, my general, my military people right here in the middle, so you never forget who's in charge.
That's right.
Right? He came to say, proclaim the power of the Roman Empire. Pilate wanted to stop any thoughts of rebelling against Rome. So here Jesus comes, right? So you got Pilate coming in one way, and you got Jesus coming in and stage his own military parade.
That's right. That's right.
You got Jesus coming in. It seems a bit suspicious that Jesus will pick up this day to ride in the city. Ah, that ain't no meek and mild right there, Garland.
No, no, and we juxtapose how Pilate came in militarily and
Yes,
what Jesus represents riding the foal of a donkey.
yes,
Because in ancient times, a donkey represented peace.
peace.
It represented him coming in to show that I am really that guy, and this is the Prince of Peace
Uh
that
huh.
is
Uh huh.
processing in. That I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming here amongst the celebration of Passover, but I'm coming with something completely different. This Passover will be a Passover like never before, where
Mm-hmm.
you think you're going to show your military might, where you think you're going to show your intimidate people by you having your horses and your generals and your military
Mm-hmm.
force present. You don't even realize what's about to take place.
Yeah.
And much like as we mentioned, this 21st century iteration of what's happening in our current context with our military doing some interesting things and our alleged pilot doing some interesting things, we too must represent that piece of Jesus as we come in to disrupt those people and those institutions and those systems that are seeking to oppress us and suppress us. And if we are not careful, if we miss what this week represents, we will continue on this cyclical cycle with
Mm-hmm.
this meek and feeble and pale skin, blonde hair Jesus that some try to present or represent as
Mm-hmm.
the Jesus of Nazareth. And beloved, that was not him.
And so Jesus come in subversively,
That's right.
right? He's strategic, and and I preached a sermon one time, Garland, on this, and I said, "Don't let this ass fool you."
Well, Sheriff, if that ain't the quintessential essence of how you think of playing on words, you got to
Don't
know
let
you. That's
don't let
perfect.
this don't let this donkey
Fool you. That's
fool you.
right. That's right.
Don't let this donkey fool you. So it seems a bit suspicious that Jesus will come in the city this day,
Of course.
right?
But Jesus is so strategic. He orchestrates. Jesus
Yeah,
sees the end from the beginning. So Jesus is doing all these things like a master chess player that he's
yeah,
putting all these pieces on the table, and people don't even realize what he's doing because
yeah,
they are used to what they're used to.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what Jesus is doing is kind of placating to what y'all used to, but I'm kind of doing it my own way so that I can get the glory by what's about to take place, and you don't
Yes,
even recognize what's about to happen.
yes, yes. And so he gives them some instruction.
Mm-hmm.
He gives them some specific instruction. He says he instructs two of his disciples are to go into the village ahead of them where they will find a donkey.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go to untie it and bring it to him. And if someone says, "What are you doing?" Try to stop you, say, "The Lord has need of it."
That's right.
The Lord has need of a donkey,
Of a
the
donkey.
lowest animal, docile. And the Lord
Docile.
has, this ain't no military horse. This is not no war horse. This is a donkey. And my friends, right now, this is a good point to remember. Don't be thrown off by how it comes wrapped, because the donkey has power. The donkey has
That's right.
power. You may think it's one way and it's coming another.
That's right.
There are people who may think I'm the lowest. I have nothing to give. I have, like the little drummer boy, I have no gifts to bring, right? I need you to know the Lord has need of you.
Yeah. And to take it a step further to Sherry, this donkey in particular has never even been written. So this donkey hadn't even been able to exercise or be of any service to anyone. All
Yes.
we know is this donkey is tied up. We don't know how long the donkey's been tied
Yeah.
up. And at Matthew's account, it says it's the donkey, the foal, and the coat. So the donkey is there, and presumably the mother of the
That's
donkey
right.
is there.
That is
So
exactly right.
and when you kind of look at this, Jesus, not only does Jesus take the foal, the donkey, Jesus
Mm-hmm.
said, I'm not even going to grab the mother who's possibly been written before. I'm going to get on the lowliest of low
Yeah, yeah.
to show what I can do with the least of these.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is symbolic of Jesus' ministry.
Jesus stays on task.
Always.
Every move is strategic, and it goes back to Luke 4:18 and 19. And some of us confused, talking about we don't know what the mission is. The mission has not changed. I have come to set the captives free. I have come to give sight to the blind. If it ain't measuring up to that, if it's not about freeing people and liberating people and offering salvation, not just to get on to heaven, but how do you live on earth?
You gotta see how you live on earth. Jesus showed us that, Sherry, continuously. Every
Yes,
time Jesus performed miracles and signs, he met pragmatic, natural needs. He didn't say, I'm gonna feed you in glory. He gave him something to eat here.
yeah, yeah,
When he healed the person with the withered hand, he didn't say, well, your hand will be healed once you ascend into the third heaven. No, he healed people here. And
yeah,
I get so sick of church folks being so fixated on being an ancestor and getting to the other side
yeah,
where you can ignore people's vulnerabilities and needs here on earth. Sherry, if I'm
yeah,
hungry, I don't want you to pray for me. Give me something to eat.
yeah, 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 yeah. Give me something to eat. Give me
Pray
something to eat.
it. Feed me first, then let's pray.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But yeah,
So he said, so they asked, so he says, now if somebody asks, what are you doing? The disciples responded as instructed. The Lord has need of him. The disciples lead the donkey to Jesus. He gets on it and he rides down the slope of the Mount of
hmm,
Olives,
that's right.
headed to the city.
That's right.
People are throwing these palm branches before him, and
Hmm.
some spread their cloaks on the ground. Now, listen, all of this is symbolic. All of this is symbolic. This is not, waving like we at the Mardi Gras parade, right, with our beads. But as he rides, the people recognize who he is,
That's right.
and they give him a poor man's red carpet treatment.
That's right.
So while Pilate has these war horses and chariots and a caravan and all of this, they're coming from the west.
Hmm.
I need us to hear this, right? Jesus is coming in from the east. Pilate is coming in from the west. And Jesus, who always went against the culture, he comes in from the east and declared to Pilate basically, you might have the position, but I got the power.
That's a fact. That is a fact. And inevitably, that's how Jesus often portrayed himself. When he was
Yes,
with the Pharisees and Sadducees and scribes, they tried to trick him and ask him
yes,
questions and do
yes,
all these things. Jesus often had to show them in a real subtle way that I am that guy.
yeah,
I am exactly who y'all think I am. Y'all
yeah,
might try to miss me because I'm not wrapped in the package of which you portray me to be in. Because, as you know, Reverend, they expected this Savior to be some majestic person who had this great military strength and who had maybe this prestigiousness about him. And
yeah,
lo and behold, God chose a feeble, dark skinned regular man born into poverty to a teenage mother and a carpenter for a father. That's who God said, that's who I'm choosing to incarnate myself through.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, Sherry, people could not understand it. So anytime people thought they can put their finger on what Jesus would do, he would do the polar opposite
He,
and
he
to
do
completely disrupt.
he come to disrupt. He comes to
That's right.
disrupt. So he doesn't enter Jerusalem casually. He's deliberate.
Hmm.
He chooses the timing, the route, and even what he's going to ride. He's in
That's right.
charge.
That's right.
He sends for a donkey, not a war horse, because war horses were symbols of military strength, conquest,
Hmm.
and domination. But a donkey sends a different message.
That's right.
Jesus is showing that his authority is not built on violence or fear.
Hmm. And
So
thank God
again,
that it wasn't.
Jerusalem is filled with people for Passover, and
Hmm.
and it it was not just a ritual, but it was rooted in memory, in hope, and longing for freedom.
That's
So
right.
Rome knows that the people who are coming is got liberation on their mind.
They do. Because
They,
that's what
they-
that time represents.
yeah. So these memories will come flooding back like our people been in this before,
That's right.
and God delivered them.
That's
And
right.
so we need God to do it again.
That's right.
We need God to deliver us, to send a Messiah, a Savior, a liberator, like Moses was,
That's right.
right? So Rome, Pilate has to be there with all his war horses to say, listen, whatever you got on your mind, you better
Like
keep it
that.
in mind, and
That's
you better
right.
not bring it.
That's right. That's right. Because it's all intimidation.
It's
You know,
intimidation.
much like what we witness today,
Yeah.
we want to exude strength
Mm-hmm.
and dominance over people by, in particularly, using the military. The military has always been a strange and interesting subset of people throughout human history because
Mm-hmm.
anytime you want to display your level of authority, you
Yeah.
interject the military. And oftentimes, the people who interject the military were nowhere
Mm-hmm.
near where the conflicts were.
Yeah.
Pilot ain't going to do no fighting.
None.
And that's how I use other people to do my bidding,
Mm-hmm.
much like we see today.
Yeah.
And beloved, if we are not critically paying attention to the similarities and the juxtaposition of what this week, what Passover represent, what Holy Week represent, what Palm Sunday represent as it relates to the larger context of society and Christianity,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to regress
Yeah.
instead of progress.
Yeah. Listen, Garland, we are talking good. But I want to encourage all of those who are listening to us to go ahead on like, share, and tag. Let's double these numbers. Let's bring, because we know we're talking good. Now, it we may be going counter, but we're walking in the steps of Jesus, who went counter. And I know it messes up your theology to say this was not no parade. You may have processed around your church. You might have sang Ride on King Jesus, no man cannot hinder me, and all of those things. But I want you to know this was a showdown. This
Correct.
was confrontation. This was a day where two sides, opposing side, just think about, as we said, two enemies meeting up in the streets, and they gonna fight it out.
That's right.
And this is what happened. So some scholars point out that while Jesus entered Jerusalem from one side, Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, may have come from another side with soldiers, horses, and full display of imperial power.
Mm-hmm.
It's also suggested that whether people saw both of the processions or not, the contrast is clear. Rome used military force to show who was in charge, and Jesus entered with humanity, with courage, and prophetic purpose to show what the reign of God looked like on earth.
On earth.
On earth,
Literally fulfilling prophecy.
literally
Literally.
fulfilling.
And you don't have a Pharisee, a
Yeah.
scribe, nobody even recognizes what Jesus is doing. He's
Mm-hmm.
literally fulfilling something that was prophesied 500 years
In
earlier
Zechariah.
in Zechariah. And at no point did anybody say, well, wait a minute, this looks familiar. I read this. Wait a minute, hold on. Let's stop here.
Yeah, yeah.
That this is something that is succinctly clear that was written long before Jesus was ever on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
But because they were so fixated on their norms and their understanding of the law and the
Mm-hmm.
Pentateuch and the Torah, they missed
Yes.
what Jesus was fulfilling and the beauty of that dark skinned man named Jesus, as he oftentimes put the contextual and the essence of what the prophets prophesied about
Mm-hmm.
to let people know they talking about me.
They talking about me? Yeah.
Y'all looking around
Yeah.
instead of looking at me. And it's amazing the imagery that Jesus often did, even quoting in Luke 4.
Yeah.
He's going into the scroll. It ain't by happenstance he grabs Isaiah's scroll.
Yeah. Yeah.
It ain't by accident.
Yeah.
And people just missed it, Sherry. They constantly missed it. They missed it all the way until they crucified.
Until they crucified. And so this is what's going on. Jesus basically has a counter procession.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus is presenting another vision of power. He is making it plain that in his kingdom, it doesn't operate like Pilate world, like the Roman world, like the empire. So the people recognizing who he is, they put the palms down. They put, so he can have a red carpet
Correct.
experience, right?
Correct.
If you want to use that language that we could recognize. So they are crying and they are responding, Hosanna.
Yeah, they're shouting out. They're shouting, Reverend.
They're shouting, but this is what they are shouting. Because remember, they are still looking for a Messiah.
That's right.
They are looking for a conquering king.
That's right.
They need somebody who will free them from this oppression.
That's right.
So Hosanna, we hear it as praise, but it also means save us now.
That's what it means.
Save us now. Save us now. It's a cry for deliverance. It's a cry for help. They're not just celebrating. They are longing for freedom. They are tired of this oppression. They are carrying the weight of occupation, injustice, and survival.
That's right. And in Matthew's account, Sherry, they even are hollering Jesus' messianic name. They're even hollering Hosanna, Son of David.
Son of David.
That is his messianic name. However, they are not completely certain of who he is. Some of them has witnessed what he's done.
Yeah, what he's done.
And because they are in this mindset of Passover, again, which represents liberation, which represents emancipation, how God spared them by putting the blood over the doorpost and God passed over them. Mm-hmm. So there in their mind, it was like they wishing, yearning, hoping, thirsting.
Save us.
For a savior.
Mm-hmm.
save us now. So they're yelling out to Jesus and Jesus' messianic title or name, and nowhere in any of the synoptic gospels does Jesus utter a word.
I'm gonna whisper this to you, Garland, and
Just us talking.
it's just me and you. You know I can trust you.
Certainly.
These ain't no Christians.
No, ain't no such thing as
Ain't,
Christians in the Bible.
ain't no such thing as a Christian. So these not Christians. They ain't talk about save us and get me to the by and by.
This is not about the salvific salvation that we think of us surrendering our life, give the preacher your hand and Jesus your heart. This ain't that type of salvation. They're talking about literally save me, literally, specifically help me, save me, rescue me in the most practical and pragmatic sense. They are not talking about some existential salvation. They're not thinking about glory. They're not thinking about heaven. They're thinking about actuality. I am oppressed. Save me.
I can't eat.
Save me.
I'm in slavery and bondage because I can't pay these taxes.
Save me.
My children are sold into slavery because I cannot pay off these taxes.
Save me.
Save me now.
Save me now.
Yeah. We can talk about heaven later.
Exactly. Wow, Sherry. While the oppressor has his military right there to remind them, although you're feeling jovial and y'all are yelling and throwing your cloaks on the road and cutting down palm branches, I want to remind you this is only for a week. We're going to catch you on that 8th day.
Yes.
We're going to be right back to reality because that's how it always been, aside from this particular week.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And so they're crying out, save me. Now, it takes courage for them to even do that because these military horses is in plain sight.
That's right. But I think what helped them, Sherry, is the overwhelming number of people who were conjuring to Jerusalem for Passover. Because although the military has the horses and the men of war, they're grossly outnumbered at that point.
Yes.
They're more so for the presentation, much like when we see on our streets where you got people in their ride gears and they got their masks up. If people were to really assemble, you got a couple hundred cops. It's thousands of people there.
Yes.
And they're gonna get quite a few of them. But I guarantee if the people would have had a mind to work collectively, they could have overwhelmed with what Pilate had there. So that military presence there is more so for an intimidation factor. It's more so for a direct line so they can see that although you're feeling how you're feeling now, however, it won't last long because oppression is knocking at the door the second this festival of Passover is over.
Yeah.
And here comes a man on a donkey.
And so Jesus rides into what they need the most. He's coming in the midst of their oppression. He's coming in the midst of their longing for freedom. He's getting in the midst of it. Right? He's getting in the midst of it. And so many people wanted salvation, but they expected it to come in a familiar form.
Of course.
Pilate got these horses. Where your horse? We need somebody who is going to be able to go up against this.
What is a donkey going to do? Lord, I mean, riding on an elephant, something, not a donkey, because again, guys, we're trying our best to paint this picture of the symbolism of what's happening.
Yeah.
As a donkey represented the most feeble, the most fragile, docile that Jesus could have chosen. I mean, let's put it a little bit, something people might understand, maybe with dogs. Pilate has a bull mastiff. Jesus has a Shih Tzu.
Mm-hmm.
He has a little cute and cuddly
Yes.
thing he's carrying, and you thinking, wait a minute,
This
that
ain't gonna work.
that dog gonna slaughter this dog.
Yeah.
That horse is gonna slaughter that donkey. But Jesus wasn't trying to fight these two animals. Jesus was fighting the systems and the oppression of what Pilate represented. I
That's
wouldn't
right.
come in here to have some animal fight.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
just my mode of transportation by choice.
Yes. I choose it.
I choose it.
I choose that. And so the people are looking, they wanted somebody to show, to act like, to look like. They wanted somebody to
Certainly.
look like they can fight, right?
Certainly. Certainly.
They wanted somebody to look like they could, they wanted to overthrow. They wanted power that looked strong by the standards of the
Right.
world. Somebody who was Pilate's, who was Rome's match.
Of course. And what's crazy, Sherry, and I don't want to take us too far
That's okay.
off our discussion. If they were familiar with the law, this ain't the first time they saw someone who looks inferior take over someone who's superior. How you think David and Goliath look? Goliath was literally chastising
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh's people.
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
looked when little David, little Ruck got up there. What is this?
What is this? Yeah.
So if you can juxtapose that, when you look at Jesus riding in by himself on the foal of a donkey
Mm.
versus Pilate's military might, you will look at that and say that's completely unhinged of what should be happening. Like Jesus, wait a minute. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
people got to be thinking, now, come on, Jesus,
Yeah.
you ain't got a sword, you ain't got no crew.
Got nothing. What you
What
want?
what you working with, Jesus? But we still yelling out Hosanna
Yeah.
just in case.
Because
You
we
know,
have seen your work.
we've seen you work. I've even had the fish dinner. I know what you can do, but
We need you to
Jesus,
do it now.
yeah, this ain't it though. I
Yeah, yeah.
mean, and
But what he
I love
does
it.
is he confronts. So there is this saying, I think Audre Lorde Laporte talks about, you can't fight the master using the master's tools.
Yes,
Right? So Jesus confronts empire without becoming empire.
good.
Jesus confronts empire without becoming empire,
That's really
without
good.
using the same tactics. He goes around a different way and catches them off center.
That's right. That's right. And again, that is so akin to how Jesus' entire ministry was. That
How he
Jesus
was born.
he never did what they expected him to do. He never engaged in a manner in which they would recognize. He did
Yeah,
things completely antithetical to their way of life.
yes,
You know, y'all are so fixated on the Sabbath. Jesus is like, I am the Sabbath.
I am.
I ain't worried about none of this stuff y'all talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna do what I do
yeah,
when I want to do it, where I want to do it, and to whom I want to do it. Why you always running with sinners? Why you always with the least of these? You running with women of the night. You running with all these people. And
hmm,
Jesus like, I know,
I
on
know.
purpose.
Yeah,
I'm not. This is not by happenstance. It's not by accident.
yeah,
I came here because these are the people I am aliking with,
yeah,
not Sadducees, the Pharisees, not these political and religious leaders allegedly of this day.
hmm,
I came to set the captives free. These are the captives. So I'm coming to set them free.
yeah. And so for us, we say we want justice, but sometimes we have been taught to think that power only counts if it dominates.
Hmm. That's human history. That's human
Yes,
nature.
human.
You know,
And
people
Jesus
equate
rejects
power.
that way.
Yeah, because Sherry, the equivalent of power is often dominance. You know,
Yes,
how I show power or force is
yes,
by how I can dominate, how I can
yes,
really amass my strength or my vigor on someone. So
Yeah.
that's how I show who I am, because people don't recognize the potency of our being able to repress and not attack and not try to show this alleged semblance of dominance, because people don't realize the real strength and dominance of Jesus was his restraint.
And what is Reverend Marilyn just put something out. She says that Jesus would not let them box him in.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm coming left one day, don't look for me left tomorrow.
That's right.
Because tomorrow I'm coming right or I'm coming from the side, right? And so even in the way he maneuvered and healed, because I believe Jesus, catch this, is not a monument, but a movement.
Certainly.
Right?
Certainly.
Which is why when they are on the Mount of Transfiguration, when Peter, oh, it's good for us to be here. Let's stay here in this high church.
Let's build three altars.
Let's build us three because we want to stay here.
That's
we
right.
had some high church today. We want the spirit was moving and let's stay here.
That's right.
Jesus says, no, we're not going to build no monuments because you're going to think this is it all the time.
That's right.
This is a movement. We got to move on to the next stage.
Mm-hmm.
And as they went, as they moved right down there in the valley from the mountain,
waiting on them, Reverend. Waiting on them.
Disciples couldn't even heal the boy.
Waiting on them. Exactly.
They arguing among each other. How they gonna do it?
So
and Jesus them come out and say, "What's all this
commotion?" That's right. And then that dad had to say, "I brought my child to your disciples.
And they couldn't do nothing about it.
I brought him to your church.
Yes.
I brought him to your bishop.
So,
your preacher. Yeah.
So yes, Jesus didn't let them box him in.
That's right.
Because this had to be a movement.
That's right.
And not a
monument.
A monument. That's and right. Not a monument. So now here's another thing. Because as this week move on now, right? We need to understand that the silent night, all meek and mild Jesus, that ain't where we at now.
That's a fact.
No. He that ain't that. Just because he didn't get out of character does not mean he did not engage in confrontation.
100%. This whole week is going to be symbolic with confrontation. Yes. The whole week, he going to get a fig tree. He going to flip over a table. This whole week, Jesus is showing his character.
Yes.
The quintessential essence of who he is. Yeah. Because I believe, Pastor, that Jesus is readying himself psychologically, emotionally, physically.
Yeah.
For what's about to come. Because again, he has been prophesying of who he is and what he came to do. Yeah. However, he's been on the scene for now a little over 3 years, and it ain't happened yet.
Yeah.
And it's similar with people. You can see vision that God has shown you, but if it takes a couple weeks, a couple months, or even a couple years, oftentimes we tend to be out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, I know you said who you was. I know you said we're gonna do this, but are you really that guy? Are you really gonna do this? Did God really tell you this? And now we're at the precipice of fulfillment. We're literally knocking at the door of fulfillment.
Yeah. And so Jesus does not stay silent. He stays strategic.
Certainly.
But he does not stay silent. He doesn't avoid confrontation. And he enters the city in a way that exposes false power and challenges what dehumanizes people.
And in addition to that, Reverend, look at the geographic symmetry that Jesus does. Scripture
Mm-hmm.
tells us he comes down a road from Bethpage
Mm-hmm.
into the Mount of Olives. So
Mm-hmm.
people have to look up as Jesus is coming down.
Come on
Right?
now.
Now, you got the military there who are alleged power. They are the ones in
Lift up
control.
my eyes.
But I will lift up my eyes. You have to look up to see me coming, and I'm not
I'm coming
gallivanting.
down,
I'm
and
coming
you.
down, and you looking up. And I'm not gallivanting. I'm not galloping in. When the last time you seen a donkey speed anywhere? You know what I mean? So Jesus is taking his time deliberately and intentionally
Mm-hmm.
as the people watch him descend upon them as he comes down the road.
Down.
That's not by happenstance.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nah. Not. Not at all.
Yeah.
So what this day, Palm Sunday, reminds us is that faith of witness is not always private.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's public.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got to come out these prayer closets.
We have to. We have to.
Yeah, we got to come out the prayer closet.
We have to.
Yeah, yeah,
We have to enact what we've been praying about.
yeah,
Because we know the saying, faith without works is dead, and I believe that. And how one puts their faith into action on whatever you're praying about, it's about deliberately doing that to which you know that God has called you to do.
yes.
Because at no point in Jesus's life was Jesus uncertain on what he was
Mm-hmm,
called to do. And for many of us, because what we're called to do may feel uncomfortable,
mm-hmm,
may look different, we may think we're inadequate,
yes.
we may think we're incapable. That has no bearing on your calling.
Mm,
Because if you and I'm gonna speak for y'all way more saved than me. If I know God shouldn't call me,
mm,
I have no pedigree. I ain't been walking with the Lord since the doctor declared my sex. I've done innumerable amounts of wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, I ain't killed nobody, I ain't did none of that crazy stuff. But God looks at sin through equality. We
mm-hmm,
have a tendency of, oh no, that's just a little sin, that's a big sin. Now, God sees sin as sin.
mm-hmm.
So that is the prerequisite. Oh man, I know I've reached my quota for my lifetime. So therefore, I live with that humility, knowing that at any given moment, God can say, man, I probably made a mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
But folks have a tendency of thinking because of their own idiosyncrasies or uncomfortabilities or even their arrogance, they think, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to operate and move how I move. So they think, well, Sherry, I can just stay in my prayer closet, I can just stay hidden, I can just stay reclusive. And if you want to emulate Jesus, you must be willing to confront the empire.
You may be a Christian, but you ain't no Jesus follower.
That's two different things.
Because Christians, in my mind, try to get you into heaven. That's all they trying to do is get you into heaven. They don't care about what's happening here on earth. They don't care if you're eating. They don't care if you house. They don't care if you got affordable health care,
Yeah.
decent safety, and sanity. They don't care. They just want you to give your right hand to the preacher and your heart to God.
Oh yeah. Because you got a robe waiting on you, Reverend. You got a robe and a crown waiting
That
on
is
you.
what the enslavers did to the slave. We're gonna let you get baptized, but your body
They belong to me.
still belongs to me.
That's a fact. That's unfortunate. And to give us a modern context, that's much like I hear in our political spaces about Republicans and MAGA.
Mm-hmm.
That's the juxtaposition. Oh, well, I'm not MAGA, but I do this or do that. Now wait a minute. So if you say you are a upstanding citizen Republican, that's your prerogative, and
Mm-hmm.
yet Your policies don't care nothing about the least in, nothing about the marginalized, nothing about the left behind. That's the same thing that sociopath doing. What's the difference?
What's the
And
difference?
if you're a Christian and you don't care about none of the quintessential qualities that Jesus gave his life for, that's not a Jesus follower. You're just a person who want a fish dinner. You're just a person looking for a sign.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we got way too many of them.
So listen to this, Garland. Jesus, let's be clear. The tensions are high.
Yes.
You got these military horses, these chariots, or these war horses here.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus understood the risk.
Of course.
He knows that this entry, the way he has chosen to do it, is going to heighten the tension.
That's right.
He knows that the cross is ahead.
That's right.
He had been trying to tell them.
That's right.
At this point, he don't have nothing to lose.
Nothing, because he already knows the end is near.
The end is near.
Yeah.
But
Because
he comes in anyway.
yeah.
So in the midst of it, he's courageous to do it as he did.
Of course. I mean, honestly, I don't even think courageous is a strong enough word. Because Sherry, it's one thing. I mean, again, it's just you and I talking.
Mm-hmm.
We people may be eavesdropping, but it's just us.
It's us.
All of us know at some point or another to the earth we will return.
Mm-hmm.
All of us know. And unless you do something kind of oblivious to speed this up, I'm gonna go put a 9mm to my head, or I'm gonna go walk in front of a truck or something. All of us know we're gonna go, but none of us kind of know when or how or where. You know what I mean? Like I said, I know at some point, unless Jesus return, I'm going to ascend. I've accepted that, been accepted that. But it hits way different.
Mm-hmm.
When I know 96 hours from now, I'm going to have to carry a 220-pound cross,
Mm-hmm.
partially me and then partially Simon from Cyrene, that African man,
Mm-hmm.
to be crucified in between two people.
Yeah.
I know that's coming in 96 hours. I know it. It's coming.
It's coming.
So therefore, my level of courageousness knows no bounds now, because I came for this.
He's rooted in his assignment.
Rooted, Sherry. I'm talking about deeply entrenched.
He's rooted in his assignment.
There's no shaking.
Not
There's
shaking.
no backward steps. I'm not going to try to duck it. I'm not going to try to avoid it. I'm going to go flat-footed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that is the boldness and the prestigiousness of Jesus, that I know exactly who I am.
Yes.
I know exactly why I came, and I am going to come and put it in their face.
Bring it on.
Bring
it on. Now, so we've talked a lot, but we ain't talked about this crowd a whole lot. I want to excuse me. I want to talk about this crowd a little bit, because I believe that, well, we know there's about 250,000 people. There's people around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's people saying, Hosanna, save us, but there's also the crucified crowd there too.
Yes.
Right? And so one crowd may have been saying, Hosanna, Hosanna, but another crowd is saying, save him. Crucify him.
Yes.
Because they asked, who is this? Who is this here? Got all this commotion going.
That's right.
Jesus of Nazareth.
That's right.
Right? And so the crowd can cheer one day. He's not thrown by the crowd.
Either way.
Either way, he's not thrown by the crowd. The crowd can cheer one day and disappear another. Jesus is not led by the crowd's approval. I need somebody to just put that in the comment section. We cannot move by the crowd's approval. You got to move by your purpose, by your assignment.
That's right. Because Sherry, if you do, you will be suffering from a bit of schizophrenia.
My
Because
God,
you just, if you're trying to appease people, good luck.
you cannot do it.
And that's why all throughout Jesus' ministry, Jesus often asks like uh, interrogative type of questions. Who do people say that I am?
Yeah.
Jesus very seldomly told people who he was.
That's right.
He let other people talk because when you know who you are, it doesn't matter what people say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
nowadays, we are so caught up looking for affirmation. We're so caught up looking for people to justify us and substantiate us and who we are and what we do. But if we can ever learn to not allow ourselves to be caught up in the allure of the crowd.
And here's another thing, though, Garland. It's also a subversive move to not go around saying who he was.
Right.
Right? Let the people say who he was, because he ain't drawing that kind of attention to himself. Again, it's a strategic move because he's got to do the work.
That's right.
They would have taken him out earlier.
That's right.
He's got to do the work. So he let them say
That's right.
who he was, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Because doing so could have gotten him killed. So he is led by purpose. And I need somebody to hear that. That is a word for anybody trying to stay faithful in difficult places. My God. To remember my pastor, Dr. Joyce Green, who is now gone to be with God, used to always say, Sherry, don't let your emotions mess with your money. Don't let your emotions mess with your money. Don't get all out here out of sort, bent out of shape, and it causes problem with the flow of your money.
That's right.
Not saying don't say it, but saying use wisdom, right? And so Jesus was using wisdom. He understood that he had work to do, so he let people draw their own conclusion
That's right.
about who he was. We all have to find ways to remain faithful in these difficult places that we are. You cannot build your calling on people's praise.
And Sherry, I think the world is still broken out in these same sets of people. You got people who are yelling Hosanna.
Mm-hmm.
You got people who will yell crucifying. You
Mm-hmm.
got also people who don't have a clue of what's going on.
Or don't care.
So my question tonight is, which group are you in?
Mm.
You have to identify where do you stand?
Where do you
Because
stand?
this is personal.
Yeah.
And I can't stand for you, Sherry, nor can you stand for me. I got to know where I stand.
You got to know for yourself. You got to know for yourself.
That's right.
And so as we um, bring this first night to the a close, we have to. I want to invite us, Dr. Garland, to ask ourselves some questions.
Okay.
What does it mean to follow Jesus who confronts unjust systems?
What does it mean?
What does it mean to follow Jesus? Not just quote some scriptures, not just, I'm saved.
Hmm.
That's base one.
Hmm. That's that's the question, Reverend.
That's
Because
the question, but I gotta know.
Because in essence, following Jesus may very well cost you everything. But do you value following Jesus?
Mm.
It's about what you value.
It's about what you value.
It's about where you place worth, value, appraisal. How do you see Jesus?
How, yes.
And if you see Jesus through the prism of who Jesus is, you will recognize that for what God gave us in Jesus, it's worth me sacrificing my all for Jesus.
Mm.
And whatever that looks like, because it looks different for each and every one of us. Don't let nobody tell you that there is one binary way
Yeah.
of following Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we
Because
can say,
Jesus wasn't binary.
right, because what I think we can say, Sherry, if whatever way you're following Jesus does not involve you helping the least, the left behind, the marginalized, the looked over, if you're not doing that, I would deduce
Yeah.
that you're not following Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not here to say a prophet lie to nobody to say
Yeah.
just to follow Jesus, you must liquidate your 401k and walk into your local city and just start passing out $100 bills. That's
Mm-hmm.
not what we're here suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
But if your theology, if your hermeneutic, if your ideology of following Jesus never involves you causing no trouble, never involves you helping somebody who can't help you back. Because share me doing something for you, to me, it's not me showing God how
Yeah.
appreciative I am, because I would do it for you in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, can you do it for somebody who can't do nothing for you?
My
Can
God.
you do it without having to go live to show other people you're doing it?
Here's another question, Garland. What does it mean to resist the way the empire has shaped our thinking about power, leadership, and success?
That's it.
I want to read it again.
Please.
What does it mean to resist the ways the empire has shaped our thinking about power, about leadership, and success? Does it look like pilot, war horses, military strength, royal clothes? What does it look like? Or does it look like Jesus on a donkey?
Hmm. Hmm.
The lowest, and not only low, but you got to lead a donkey.
That's right.
You got to tell the donkey,
That's right.
right?
Right.
And so these are just things for you to think about as we go through. And I just want to leave us with this, is that Jesus enters Jerusalem to reveal a different way of doing,
That's right.
a different order, not one built on domination, but one built with dignity, truth, and liberation.
That's right.
So this is what makes this day being more than a celebration.
That's right.
It is a protest. It is a declaration that God's way stands against every system that crushes human beings.
That's right.
This is what this is all about. It is it is just not about waving branches and celebrating Jesus' arrival.
Correct.
It is about recognizing that Jesus has entered Jerusalem with purpose, confronting power, and showing the world another way.
That's right.
He understands the risk.
Yeah. He knows it, Sherry, because it's not his first time entering Jerusalem.
Not
He
he's
just
had
knows.
we know he had at least 3 Passovers.
Yeah, but this time in particular, he knows this will be his last time
Yeah,
entering
yeah,
Jerusalem, because
yeah.
the next time you will see him in Jerusalem will be after he has arisen.
Yeah.
But that's another. That's a couple days down the road. We ain't gonna get down there.
That's a couple
Yeah.
days down the road. And so I want to say tomorrow night, my good friend Reverend Marilyn Smith we're gonna pick up because tonight we're getting Jesus into Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
But tomorrow night, Pastor Marilyn, we're going to see him in the temple. And let's just say the meek and mild, holy night, silent night, acting like he come from where Geraldine B. Major, the night wolf.
Yeah.
Acting like he come to take care of business. So Reverend Marilyn Smith tomorrow night, then Reverend Donna Otis, Reverend Tracy Jones, and Elder T.J. Watson um, on our final night Thursday. And Friday there is 1,000,005 seven last saying. So just we're gonna let you ride that one the way you
Yeah,
do.
that's quite a few rapping.
We're gonna let you ride
I've
it the
seen
way.
about 50 of them,
Yeah,
but quite
yeah.
a few, quite
So,
a few.
so Dr. Garland, as always, it is a pleasure
But
when we come together to do this work. We got a lot of shenanigans between us, but you cannot say we're not going to do our work.
absolutely, because it's a critical junction of time as we look historically at what this represents,
Yeah,
because we can't continue to either mislead or misinterpret this week and what this represents.
yes.
Because it's easy just to kind of look at it, like you said, as just a celebratory thing. Because if people are shouting and waving and throwing their cloaks, that wasn't Jesus. Wasn't on that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they were, he came cerebrally to come take care and fulfill what he was called to do. I came to show Pilate. I ain't ducking no smoke. I ain't running from nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I know what y'all plotting against me. I know what y'all planning against me. The king is here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I appreciate you considering me to come and share with you tonight. And
Yeah.
I will definitely be tuned in the rest of this week as you guys engage and walk through what's happening, because it's critical. Guys, I know we want to get them to the
Yeah.
Garden of Gethsemane.
Yeah. I want us to park in these nights. Don't just we can't just get to the great. The shout gonna come for real when you understand the week.
Correct. Because, we like to focus on Palm Sunday, then we like to get them all the way to the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he gonna get to the garden. Don't get me wrong, but it's some steps that's taking place as he is heading toward the Garden of Gethsemane, and I think it enriches us for the more when we understand how Jesus approaches his last 96 hours on earth, uh, in this hypostatic union of God and Jesus. But we ain't gonna go down that road too far. But yeah, it's just a rich time in the life of the church. I
Yeah.
know we like to highlight this as the Super Bowl, but as we talked about in December, Advent to me is just as important
Yeah.
as,
Yeah. They
as
they they,
this.
they equal. To come in, do the work.
Yeah, we just love to
Yeah.
we fit because we got to get them up out the ground every Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So no matter what you're preaching, you got to get them up, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But let's fully understand how he got to the cross.
How he got to the cross. Listen, y'all be blessed. Thank you again, my brother, for joining me. We do this a couple of times a year for sure, and it has been rich. And we will pick up tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, with Reverend Marilyn Smith from Memphis, Tennessee. If y'all been around long enough, you know my testimony is I told Marilyn she was going to hell for preaching. That was before I had a tussle with Jesus.
Oh man.
And
Oh
he
my.
won.
Oh my.
He won. He won. Listen, y'all be blessed and may all be well with
Absolutely.
your day. Good night. Thank you, Garland.
Always a pleasure.